Yesterday, I got my first big commission check from this new chapter of my business, $6,635.32. And I want to show you exactly what was behind it because it wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was 899 phone calls, which is practically 900. Let's just round up. And I'm proud of myself. I don't always stop long enough to acknowledge myself because my brain tends to go straight to, okay, what's next on the agenda? But I'm going to acknowledge this one for sure. June 17th was the first retirement appointment I ever sat on since coming back into this industry after a few years hiatus. I'll talk about that some other time. But now, just over 2 months later, I'm ranked number 2 out of 10 new agents in cash flow in my company. That feels really freaking good. But here's what I don't want you to take away from this. I don't want you to look at the check and think it happened overnight, because behind that check was 899 phone calls. And the result was, of course, exciting. The process was repetitive and sometimes grueling. My commitment has been 25 calls a day, Monday through Saturday, not an astronomical number, enough to stretch me considering how busy I've been getting. So it's been small enough where I can sustain this, because once you book those appointments, what do you have to do next? You've got to conduct them and then run the follow-ups, the paperwork, the training. Plus, I'm doing B&I, which is networking, social media. And now I'm bringing on new team members and building towards an agency again. So 25 calls is my bare minimum viable, consistent metric. Write that one down. I suggest if you're an entrepreneur or you're looking to move the needle, what is one thing that you can be on the hook for to move the needle in your business or that goal? And I did some fun math. Take this one. $6,635 check, divide that by 899 calls. That's roughly $7.38 per dial. And mind you, most people never answer. I send a lot of text messages. Maybe they never call back. So obviously that includes when people don't answer the phone. And if 25 calls only takes me 30 minutes, maybe up to an hour, you start to see that activity differently. This is why I'm becoming obsessed with tracking, because instead of saying, I worked really hard this week, I want the data. How many calls did I make? How many appointments did I conduct? How many hours did that take? And how much revenue did I generate? This week alone, I've conducted about 13 reviews, 7 new appointments. That was about 2.5 hours spent towards recruiting for my agency. And I generated, of course, over the last 60 days, a little over $6,600. But that was just this week alone, but it's a snapshot into something I hold true to myself, which is if your calendar is empty, your bank account's about to be also. And the data is starting to show me what actually moves the needle. Social media has obviously been a huge help, and I've been posting, building my teacher retirement piece audience. But if I had to choose the single income producing habit that got me here the fastest, is picking up the phone. We're going old school, smiling and freaking dialing. Honestly, prospecting is a muscle. Back in my real estate days, I would door knock, cold call, and different things like that. And I've done that in various different industries I've been in. And I've noticed that the moment you stop prospecting, that muscle begins to atrophy. And so it is my belief, my commitment as it stands now, that I always want to remain sharp in that regard, because then you never fear that you could lose your revenue or your business. And unfortunately, I did take my foot off the gas pedal. So I already know the price that one pays when you do that. So don't forget, if you stop using it, it's going to get weaker. Even as referrals and social media leads start rolling in, I do not want to lose that muscle. Now, the bigger target hasn't changed. I'm building towards $20,000 a month. So this check doesn't mean I've arrived. Obviously, it means I have evidence that I'm moving in the right direction. And this money has a job. A big chunk is going to obviously go towards credit card debt. Then we start saving for our next car. One of my biggest goals is helping Felipe get to a point where if he chooses, he could go full-time in business with me. This week actually made me start questioning something that I didn't expect to question this soon. As you guys have seen, I've been really excited about the Delta opportunity, and I don't have the answer yet, and I'm still sitting with this. And honestly, I don't need to make a decision yet. I'm just going with the flow. But the question I'm sitting with is this: if I make enough money that buying plane tickets is of no consequence to me, so therefore I can travel as much as I want, would I still want to fly for Delta? That one has pretty much got me thinking. And it's been a childhood dream, as I've shared. It's been an opportunity for me to go after something, no matter my age, etc. And also when naysayers were telling me, are you really wanting to do that? But I am really glad that I've gone through this because it's really showed me what's possible by storytelling on social media. Now, I'm not saying I made a decision, but I am being transparent that it's been on my mind. So I'm going to sit with this and earn the answer over the next several months, and I'll come back to it probably. So stay tuned with that. Now let's move on to the health pillar today. So consistency has been true, not just in business, but in health. Surprise. So I've officially 2 weeks left in my washboard abs challenge, and I'm pretty darn close, but we still got some work to do. So last week, Felipe and I had a cheat meal, and I went into my next body scan thinking, okay, let's take a look at what damage we did. And somehow I was actually down another pound, which is a great reminder that getting in shape doesn't mean you never enjoy food again. It's a lifestyle. The difference is being intentional instead of turning one meal into an entire week of screw it behavior. So remember, just like anything, it is not a straight line. And full transparency, we definitely had another cheat meal yesterday. Visited Yard House. I was craving meat. And of course, we had an appetizer, fried calamari. It was delicious. I had a lettuce wrapped juicy burger with sweet potato fries. But something hilarious happened. Halfway through, before we even got our main course, both of us were like, I don't really have much of an appetite. And the old us would have eaten all of that and also gotten dessert. And we couldn't even finish our meal. And the calamari actually did start to taste greasy after a while, but it was really good. It's just you can only stomach so much of that grease when you're not used to eating like that anymore. So we couldn't even finish. We actually had to take a doggy bag home and totally skip dessert, which was like, who are we? But I'm very proud of us. The old me might have said, you know what? It's my cheat meal. Let's get our money's worth. And instead, we listen to our bodies, and that's progress. Another health and heart moment happened today. So I actually finally got to sit down with the holistic doctor who played a major role in my cervical dysplasia and pre-cervical cancer journey. If you didn't know about that, I shared it a few months back, but we finally got around to recording a full podcast interview. So stay tuned for that episode. It may take me some time to edit, but hopefully I'll get it out within the next few weeks. I'm excited to share it because there are women going through abnormal results who are scared and some who suffer completely in silence. I remember that feeling myself, and if sharing my experience helps even one woman feel more informed or less alone, it's worth it. So keep an eye out for that episode. I obviously still have to edit it, but it's coming soon. And finally, heart. Let's talk about it. This week looked a lot like community. Every Saturday for the past month, I've been hosting a volunteer meet and greet with an online community that I'm a part of. It's filled with entrepreneurs. Most are women. We share our big goals, which a lot of them are revenue goals, and how we want to change lives. We share our visions, and a lot of it is faith-based. This morning's conversation was incredibly life-giving. There's something so powerful about being surrounded by people who won't let you play small and who hold your feet to the fire and remind you of the leader that you said you wanted to become. And maybe that's the through line connecting everything right now. Your results eventually reveal your standards. 899 calls, 13 reviews this past 7 days, 7 new appointments, first-time appointments, building a team, preparing for my first school luncheon in a few weeks, and training for washboard abs. At the same time, the big goal, paying down credit card debt, questioning what my next chapter is going to look like, but having faith. And none of those changed life overnight, but stacked together day after day. That's when your trajectory starts changing. And I can feel mine majorly changing. Something that came up for me today is life's too short to play small. Why not go full throttle? So I'm grateful for this check. I'm obviously celebrating it, but we're not going to get comfortable here. I'm proud of myself, and then I'm getting back to work. Because this goal isn't one big check. It's financial freedom. It's building an agency. It's helping my husband have more choices so my family also has options. It's getting out of debt. It's building wealth. It's having the health and energy to actually enjoy it and go see the world. And the goal is creating a life worth living. That's the whole point of this channel, Heart, Health, and Hustle. So let me know in the comments if you can relate and tell me what's the one boring habit that you're betting on right now. Make it a great day, and I will see you guys next week.